like one of the crazy World Cup shirts that we have, you can totally get your hands on one. Head on over, retailrow.com. Get yourself a nice shirt. We've got some hoodies. We've got hats. We've even got the little drone that's the battle bus. It looks amazing. The top balloon is actually the drone, so you've got the bus that's literally flying around. You best believe I'm going to pick one up and mess around with my family. They're not ready for it. But there you go. There's some on your screen. Also, that Drift shirt, by far, my favorite piece of merchandise ever. Those of you that really do know me, you know I love Drift. He's easily my favorite character. But just some cool things. If you're looking to get some World Cup exclusive thing, go ahead and take a look. Now, for those of you who have also been watching kind of all 10-week qualifiers long, you know we love Golden Boy. And there's actually one thing specifically he was kind of telling people as we were going through interviews, and that was, hey, when we get to New York, you're going to be in my hometown, let's catch up and get a slice of pizza. Now, I know you're thinking, wait a minute, Zeke, what about like everyone else? Why is it just Golden Boy? Well, he's a Golden Boy and he's selfish, and he wanted the pizza off for himself. Get called out. That's right, now the world knows. But a few of those players actually took us up on the offer. They went out for some pizza. They had a night on the town. So let's take a look together and check this out.
New York City. We got the Statue of Liberty, Central Park, the Empire State Building, and the first ever Fortnite World Cup finals. I couldn't be more excited about the greatest Fortnite players from around the world coming to my hometown to duke it out. But before the action started, I took World Cup qualifying players Aiden and Chinkin out to show them the Big Apple, starting with PC Gaming Cafe, Waypoint. What's up, boys? Hey. Welcome to Waypoint. Good to see you. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
All right, fellas, let's go and grab a drink.
Let's go.
All right. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here in my hometown, New York City. Thoughts on it so far? Chinkin, we'll start with you.
Hot, a lot of people.
Yeah. Hot and a lot of people. I'm sorry, but also, welcome to New York. That's kind of the way it is out here. Where are you from in Austria?
Austria, like I'm near Salzburg.
And the population?
40K.
I think it was like 40,000 people in the train that you were in on the way here.
Probably.
Yeah, so
there was so many people.
Now I want to talk about the competition at hand because obviously this is going to be the biggest opportunity, I would imagine, of your lives. You're going to be playing in front of a massive crowd. Is there a way as a player that you prepare for that?
I don't think like there's a way to like prepare for it.
Yeah.
But try to like calm down, not get like nervous, not get shaky and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we should be good. Like.
It's still crazy having like a live crowd.
Yeah.
I try not to take tournaments like too seriously. If I play relaxed, I feel like I do better. I remember when everyone's like, this guy looks like he's just chilling on his couch at home, the casters, and it was like, I was just relaxed, you know, and I feel like I played better.
Okay, so gentlemen, we're gonna be heading off to some different sites around the city. We're gonna go to Washington Square Park, so let's go and check it out. All right, so now here we are in Washington Square Park, gentlemen. And I love the fact that we've conveniently set this up. I don't know what these pieces would symbolize.
I don't know.
I'm not too sure. Is it like king or queen? While we have this here, let's talk about competition. You guys are potentially going to be facing off against each other. Have you thought about that now?
I don't know. I just don't want to feel the L2 spam like.
Oh, you don't want to feel the L2 spam?
I've watched them play a little bit. Him and Stompy, they're very like, I've seen them play aggro before. It's pretty scary. So if you have chemistry where you can play without even talking, you guys know what you're gonna do. That's like, a team like that's gonna win. So
what you guys are gonna experience this weekend, this is the first Fortnite World Cup. You're gonna be playing for millions of dollars potentially. Has that even set with you guys yet?
Even if it's not me, I'm thinking there's gonna be millionaires after this tournament. There's gonna be millionaires.
Life-changing money.
I try not to be, I'm not like greedy about it or anything. It's really nice to see like people that nobody know about and they could just blow up off of this.
All right, I'm gonna dive more into that, but I think it's time to get a slice of pizza.
Take you out out for a good pizza.
We'll get some pizza.
To give everyone pizza. Yeah, I'm gonna show up with 2 giant boxes of pizza. Say I won't, Bala. Say I won't.
And I kept telling people, hey, I want to get a slice of pizza with you. You know, all the players, and they all ignored me, you know? So thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. Obviously, this has been an incredible journey for you all. You're now on the precipice of one of the biggest events in the history of all competitive gaming.
I'm happy that it was a fair chance for everybody, you know, open qualifiers.
Yeah.
You could have no exposure, but if you're good, you get in the tournament. So I'm just really thankful to be here, and I'm going to enjoy my time here.
Yeah, we just try to like make our fans happy. I'm really looking forward to play on the stage in front of 100,000 people.
Do you feel like the fans and how they've been supporting you all on this road to this, do you feel like that adds a little bit to this pressure?
Honestly, it's just more support for me. I feel more like happy to be here when there's all these people, whether they're rooting for me or other players. Fortnite's grown so much, and I just can't wait to see all like the crowd, and I know it's gonna get bigger and bigger every event, so.
Fellas, best of luck at the Fortnite World Cup this weekend. Seriously, nothing but the best for you, but we're in the thick of things here in New York. So I think we got to get some more pizza. You guys down? All right, let's do it. New York's got everything. And this weekend, most importantly, it's got the Fortnite World Cup. Now that these two have had their slice, let's see how they handle the competition.
Good guy, Golden Boy. You gotta love him. You can't not. He's just the best, and it's really cool that he got to go out, hang out with Aiden, get some pizza, and, you know, just tour New York. You love to see it. You love to see it. Now, guys, there is actually a dynamic duo that we want to talk to. We actually have Jordan Fisher standing by. He's going to be chatting with Nix and PF Zin. These guys qualified back from the Brazilian region, and they've got some things to say. So, Jordan, let's go over to you.
Thank you, my friend. I've got Nix and PF Zin here. Nix, you have been absolutely dominating in the last few weeks, especially where the solos and the duos are concerned, being the first Brazilian player to qualify for the World Cup. Can you talk to me a little bit about the dynamic that the two of you share as partners?
Nix, você estava dominando nas últimas semanas, principalmente para os qualifiers da World Cup. Você pode falar um pouco sobre a dinâmica de vocês?
Eu e o PFzinho costuma jogar bem agressivo e tentar pegar o máximo de eliminações possível.
PFZ and I, we try to play as aggressively as possible and get as many eliminations as we can.
As you should in the name of Battle Royale, right? Now, PF Zin, you seem to balance out the fiery kind of loose cannon nature of Nix, who is obviously a dominant player, you know, kind of helping him set up for a solid in-game. What's it been like to work with such a young and fiery player like Nix?
PFzinho, você parece que você consegue contrabalançar o estilo bem incendiante do Nix. Então, como é que é isso para você fazer esse lado mais balanceado da dupla?
Basicamente, eu tenho uma role de suporte, então eu meio que fico nas backlines e ele vai na frente. Quando a gente tem o high ground, por exemplo, ele tem a função de ficar embaixo matando todo mundo e eu controlando o high ground. Basicamente é um lado mais estratégico, enquanto ele é o lado mais agressivo.
Basically, I have more of a support role. Whenever we're in high ground, I'm just more in the background supporting him. Like he has a more aggressive role.
Setting him up.
Yeah.
To fire the loose cannon at the end. It reminds me of the very W key in a West that I play on all the time, and that has really, you know, just got me cranking my 90s on a regular basis. You know about that courage, right? Am I right? Back to you.
Whoa. Jordan, it's back to me. Come on, courage. He's just found the chicken parmesan. Someone whispered the word and he went running. You just see it. Also, big shout out to Nix and PF Zin. I actually chatted with Nix very quickly. He walked up and was like, "Hi, I'm Nix." And I'm thinking, this guy knows how to talk. So I talked a bunch of stuff, told him how much I loved him. Turns out he didn't understand any of it. So I had to get a translator and tell him that I love him. But that's how things go. Now, of course, guys, I know what you want. You want more games. We have 4 more on deck. So I think for now, we're going to send it back up to Golden Boy and Monster. They're going to get us into these games. So how's CJ Mike Realm? Play us in.
Huge shout out to DJ Mike Realm, spinning the ones and twos here at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Golden Boy alongside Masadife, Boricua Boys back at it again, looking to bring you the fun as we have games 3 and 4 on deck. And so far, this has been one of the most exciting events I've ever been to. That game 1 was ridiculous. Game 2 did not disappoint as well, Monster.
No, it didn't. I thought for a second there we're going to see back-to-back performances from Zayt and Sap. And I mean, we honestly did. Everyone that was in the top 10 contestant, even Miz and Deja, they were performing. We saw them cut it all the way through. And it's that level of consistency that's going to cut the difference in making it all the way through the top 10 and being a World Cup winner.
What I've loved seeing is that standings page, top 10, international through and through. You got the Japanese players popping off, European players popping off, players from New Zealand. Everyone's putting in every little bit they can. But folks, it's now time for game number 3. The players are all loaded up in the battle bus, and we are about to take off. Let's see who's going to get that much closer to raising the trophy and being your Fortnite World.
We are jumping into game 3 as these cameras populate. Your favorite competitors are here. They've made it this far. It's the duo competition. If you were nervous before, hopefully they kicked the bucket over this little break here, and they're back, and they're recuperating.
I know I practically kicked the bucket after Vinny and Zetro won game 2, man. I was feeling it, man. It was nuts. And there they are on your screen. So the drop for the bus here, it's going to be a north to south one going right over that ice biome. It's going to cut pretty much center of the map there. And Vinny and Zextro, I'm very happy that they're performing this well, Monster. This is a duo that had so much success. Even going into the World Cup qualifiers, we all were like, yeah, this is a duo that definitely should make it. This is a duo that, hey, they could even win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then tragedy struck as Zextro had a few problems with you know, arthritis and different things with his hands. And I'm gonna make sure I'm getting that right. And I'm just bummed out about that. Good to see them here showing up, man. That's huge.
I mean, that's what you expect of our competitive veterans, specifically Zextro, Vinny. They go back to as many of the LAN tournaments that we've seen, as does Zayt and Sap. But anyways, in here we have UN KBB. He's going to take down Mexi. Is Scram close by? Is he close enough? And this is a battle going down in Snobby Shores. So off the rip here, we have players getting dropped. That's actually going to be our first elimination. Lucky for us to catch that one. But there's shots coming in from the Viking Island right up above. And he just kind of turns a corner, sweeps him up, catches that full elim there. So that's his now. Got a little toe-to-toe action here, Golden Boy.
Very rough situation to be in here, but Zextro now looking to engage in this one. Potentially here is going to have... We're going to go over to his POV now. Kind of get, it's a little wild, man. It's like just getting the bearings all together here, I think, for the players as well. That moment where they can just have that conversation. What are they going to do? How are they going to just implement their strategy going into the next game? What is that strategy going to be? Do you mix it up? Do you change your drop spots? These are things that are going to be so important for these players. The time that they can take to just communicate with one another. Now, Scram looking to be potentially in a world of hurt here. We heard from Nyx, PF Zin earlier on. This is the Brazilian duo. I don't think they know that. Yes, Scram, they're going to be on the hunt for him. So they know that he's around here. They're just trying to sniff him out.
Yeah, and if you were in the players' lounge, you could feel the tension, specifically when we brought up the Brazilian duos, the Brazilian players. These guys qualified, and they qualified with heavy elimination. Nyx especially being one of our only players to, like, literally qualify as hard as you can in the, you know, for the weekend.
He was at it each and every week. You constantly saw him at the top every single time. It was so impressive, and also qualified for solo, so we'll be seeing Nyx tomorrow. And then you got Scram. He's got 2 eliminations, but he's just hiding this one out. He hears them making all that ruckus, all the noise around him, and Scram just does not want to give up his position. Perhaps he grabbed his teammate's reboot card. He's maybe looking for that play. But Nyx and PF Zin, they have to have an idea of where he's going to be located here.
Yeah, he does not want to give up his position here. He's actually just hiding in the basement right now, hoping that these guys just kind of blow by like dust in the wind right here. As Nyx and PF Zin, they think it's clear. They think it's all good because they came in and they just wrapped up one of the other players. They actually didn't initiate the battle against Mexi and Scram here. So Scram might just get lucky and be able to kind of sneak on by as he hears this powerhouse duo, this Brazilian duo, kind of loot their way through and make their way to the zone soon.
And loot they definitely will, because they're getting a lot of resources out of this. Scram over in the distance. He's going to be out of there, but now we're making our way over to the action. It's happening with 7SSK7. Got Spades and Crims now looking to push on for this fight here, potentially. Got some shots going off. Crims is going to play that overlook position, getting challenged there, and trying to use that advantage from the down low, a little bit of that right hand, right? Just see if you can get a peek in there. Does get tagged up, Crims. Guy does back away there, does manage to build out. And Spades is going to force him out. There you go. So they're just right now playing for that positioning, and I like the fact that they're using these, you know, the natural high grounds, right? Get to the top, hold it down. Don't really focus too much on just trying to get in their face quite yet. Give yourself that moment of opportunity and really get a lay of the land, and then going for the engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. The best duos will try their best to isolate their opponents, really force them into, you know, very weird situations like this, force the 1v1s, and hopefully get those free shots and then pursue the push here. So again, look at how now they're split up again. So Spades and Crims are doing a great job here pressuring and isolating their opponents right now. And so far, they're definitely dictating the pace of battle here.
Yeah,
that's what they want to continue to do.
They're suffocating them. Plain and simple, right? Not let them get any kind of movement there. I mean, Jamside and 7SSK7, they're having a conversation of what the play is. What is the movement going to be? But Crims and Spades are not going to allow them that opportunity to breathe. That's going to be the down there. Crims managing to knock down Jamside. He's looking for 7SSK7 around the corner, and that's going to be the elimination registered. Both players are going to be out of there. And a big win there for Crimson Spades.
What a clean push right there. Crimson Spades have so much to prove here, because when they qualified, they were kind of looked down on, like, wait a second, was it luck? Was it not? No, they're here to show it off and show why they're at the World Cup Finals. But now, hopping back with Miz and Daedra, we saw them have a great game one, came out top 10, and they're still in the running. They're in about the top 10 right now as well, based off of eliminations. Not necessarily picking up too many placement points. They're heavily dependent on just wiping up these players at these points of interest. And looks like Lucky Landers is theirs right now.
And they'll have that, but let's see. It isn't Daedra. They linger about it. I love the fact that you go to this hot spot here, so there is going to be a bunch of free items that you're going to be able to pick up on. Also, you're going to have that circle advantage. It's right there, so you don't got to worry too much. You can continue to focus on looting. High ground has been lost, though. Miz needs to be careful. Where's Daedra at? He's going to be right next to him, trying to get these angles.
So what they have to do, they have to stick together. Looking for the sound cues right here. Can they find their opponent, catch a nice little low ground peak right here? Low ground is definitely underrated. If you can just kind of peek out, catch a big shot, you're almost guaranteed a headshot, which is a big multiplier.
Yeah, players don't really think about that, right? Like you always see Fortnite players go after the high ground. That's the bread and butter for a lot of players that play this game. But you know better than most that the low ground can pay dividends for you if you know how to take advantage of that positioning, and maybe some overzealous players to try and get aggressive on you. You got Gustavo along with Wishy.
I'm actually very interested to see if Gustavo's going to lead this push here, because specifically between these two players right here, this duo, this Brazilian duo, Gustavo doesn't necessarily lead the pushes. It's Wishy. Wishy's the aggressive one here. So he has the ultimate high. He's always looking for the shot. What are they going to do? It's just a nice standoff.
Yeah, and that's this whole event, right? Players have just been very cautious about what they want to do. They are not trying to get too aggressive in these fights. They know what's on the line here. Millions in prizing is on the line. You do not want to make a bad decision. Be one of those teams that are eliminated out early on. But Gustavo's going to be putting shots down. Focusing this player, forcing him to actually build up. He has no builds to work with as well. 19 HP remaining, and just a hope and a prayer, but unfortunately for him, that was not gonna be enough there. Gustavo's out. Wishy isn't gonna happen for him either. And Miz, he's feeling it. That's gonna be 2 elims for this duo.
You gotta love the snarky little smirk right there on his face when you get those 2 points.
Smirky.
Feels so good.
It's really good. It feels really good. And then Volks and Parpy. And look at this. Parpy actually dealing with this battle. And this other player that actually got the high ground against him was focus firing on Volks. Parpy pushing back here. I wonder, you get split up like this, but Volks and Parpy, they love playing a very aggressive style. They'll get in your face. They'll box you out if they need to.
Yeah, without a doubt. This duo was unmatched when it came down to eliminations in the qualifying rounds. They had the most, actually, and even pulled off a consecutive 5 victories in 8 games to qualify for one of the weekends. Volks and Parpy, another kind of reference to Game 1. They had a great Game 1. We saw them picking up duos, but we haven't seen them necessarily make it through to endgame. All they have to do is kind of slow it down here, and that's what they're trying to do, but being split up is terrible.
Also, in the distance, I just want to make note, Wolfie's a very aggro controller player. He's another one. I think that we've seen a fun mixture of players that look to get that safe approach to the game, and then others that just want to take early fights, get some points early on, because maybe they're playing that early game strategy rather than like focusing so hard. Like if you get late game, that's great, but you do want to rack up a few eliminations. Look how low the points are that have been thus far in games 1 and 2. Get yourself a few elims and then maybe manage to make it to that top 15, which is very hard given how many players have stayed alive in this game. Games 1 and 2, we were at what, circle 5, or yeah, circle 5. I think we were sitting at like 45, 46 players. They're just waiting for movement.
Yeah, and that's where that storm surge kicks in, right? Does damage to players. That's deal it back. But Crew and Chapels, one of my picks to watch. Have sort of been struggling in the format so far. I guess when the real pressure's on, you know, the environment shifts, right? Everything changes.
That's right. Everything changes here, and Crew does manage to get that shot off, or attempted to, with that tactical shotgun. It was not going to get the connection necessary there, but it did put the fear in the player to have to back away. Both players, well, respecting the space from one another. The stinkers come out. Crew and Chapix having to get out of there, and they're going to use those, I believe, the shockwave nades to just fly on out of there. Didn't see the purple over their bodies there, but they were able to fly on out of that fight. Could have gotten real risky for them.
I was going to say, that was a respectful disengage. You only got 6 games here, 2 of which have happened.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
need big performances. They have to push towards placement and endgame. So good on them to kind of back up. And when you have stinkers, there's no defense against it. You get chunked down right through your builds. It really is annoying to go against. And speaking about the stinkers here, Epic Whale's under pressure right now, and that's just going to chunk him down. They force him off of the campfire, and we'll see if he returns to it. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, you're only going to get so much time with that campfire. Epic Whale, along with 40R Storm. This is a Week 10 qualified duo. Last moment you could possibly have it happen, and they managed to pull it off. Maybe this could be the game for them. Another dominating duo in the scene, Airwalks and Nikov. Airwalks winning the Pro-Am yesterday 2 times now. This is a whole new ball game. Best players in the world in this lobby. It's not going to be a cakewalk, and he knows that. It hasn't been the best run thus far for Airwalks and Nikov.
Yeah, and it was their last final games there. Notice the text right there. The fast track Airwalks and Nikov qualified for the Fortnite World Cup in their final 7 games. That's intense. They were struggling so close on the cusp every single weekend, so close to qualifying. If it was 5 placements, they were 6 or so like that. It was that close for them. But jumping in here, Crew is going to put some pressure down, and it looks like his teammate has been traded out as well. He's already gone. Also going to see some eliminations over in the feed as well. You got Crew who just cleaned up on Volks, but Septic took out X-Mend. And then I think I saw XXM pop up there on the receiving end of a shot there, so will be out of the action as well. Crew by himself has 1 elimination. Gonna be looking to get as many points as possible. Now we're gonna be sitting with 40 duos left alive. We're going into the next circle here in just a little bit. It's gonna start to collapse. Salty Springs on the northern end of it. Sticking around there, so maybe trying to get some last-minute loot, perhaps. We'll have to see. Here is Parpy looking for that peak. Volks and Parpy always tend to stay together, but wait a second, that was a tricky little shockwave right there. He did try to sneak his way into the build. He takes the wall. What are you gonna do with it? Crew still looking for the replacement here. He gets it on land, takes the wall. 184! Crew's excitement, you can feel it from here. That was a huge shot. With the new tactical shotgun, the legendary.
That's right. When you're feeling it, man. He went right for the fight. Ambitious, the young player there from Sweden, 15 years of age, man, and he's playing for millions of dollars. So many of these players They're just young ones. We have a lot of young fans here in the arena today. Maybe next year this could be them. And then you got a few of the veterans. Zexro, Vinny, saw Nate Hill, as well as Funk, Mongrel, Mitro, Aiden there in the corner of the screen. And back over to our Game 2 winners, Zexro and Vinny. No eliminations to their name thus far. I mentioned Wolfie's aggro controller player. He went right for Nyx and just take him out on that one.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Wolfie hopefully catch some more highlights before the weekend's over. Touch base with him. He's a great kid, definitely enthusiastic about being here at the World Cup, and he feels totally prepared. He's ready to represent. He's one of the few controller players to actually qualify for this weekend. This is a big weekend for a lot of players, obviously, clearly. Here you have Cease and Elevate. They haven't found their rhythm.
They've been a little quiet, man. They won WSOE, a great duo that has had success in the past, but this has just not been their game so far. Got to get something to turn it around. The talent is certainly there. I think I saw someone on the Fortnite competitive Reddit mention, why is no one talking about Cease and Elevate? And I think it's just important to note that in order for us to talk about it, they got to start doing some things. And I think games 1 and 2 has not been their game.
Yeah, and I mean, we were there in the warm-up rounds. A lot of players were not necessarily revealing strategy, but whoa, that's a huge shot on Ziff right there as Mitro sends one flying down the field right there.
Sent him packing. Dear me. All right, so back into the action at hand. We're gonna have 36 duos left in this. Notable names, obviously, Mega and Dubs. Benji Fishy, Mr. Savage. A lot of people in the crowd popped for Benji Fishy when he walked out, as well as Mr. Savage. For due reason, this is a stupendous duo. The double snipe combination from Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage.
Big shot right there. These double snipes, you gotta be careful. There's no standing still in a box here because you might eat one right there. They line up another.
Right.
Not quite successful that time around, but hey, all damage matters. Storm Surge, you want to be dealing damage. You cannot stay idle. There are no free passes at the World Cup.
Look what happened in Game 1, man. The Storm Surge claimed a lot of victims. You have to be engaging in fights. You cannot stay still. There's Fwexy and Letwick on the move. Nyrox right behind him. Cooler organization. Benji Fishy's going to be down. Just saw that one off on the side. Mr. Savage now having to deal with a player that had engaged on him. He's going to get built above. He just needs to wait this one out here, but Benji does get cleaned up. Yeah, that was going to be Fwexy.
And that was such a sneaky ambush right there. He used the shadow bomb, pushed up. Notice Benji was kind of over-peeking, harassing players with that sniper. You cannot hold down scope right there. He ate a shotgun to the face, and that's why Benji goes down. And I love what Savage did here. He just went for high ground. He had to immediately get out of there and leave his duo behind. So what can Mr. Savage do? One of the best mechanical players here today. What can he do by himself?
It's not going to be easy. Not with a lobby like this. At this point in time, he's really just looking to play the keep away game. Maybe can pick off a player with that heavy sniper, get an elimination for himself. They only have 1 point right now, and they're nowhere near getting the placement points currently. But he's still looking to harass some players. Put some pressure on them. Now you see that half in, half out circle. Only 2 duos are going to be inside of there. So everyone's going to have to start to move over to that east side. It's going to be a struggle for so many players. They're starting to make the moves right now. They want to try and gatekeep, prevent these players from getting inside.
This is a team we want to watch right now during this rotation. Mongrel and Mitro, they are masters at executing, especially when they have mobility like this to cut across the field. They are on the hunt right now, and there's no reason for them to rush. Once they spot out someone, they're gonna pounce. They're gonna jump on that target.
Yeah, they're gonna wait for you to make that mistake. And with the nerves at an all-time high here, players are certainly gonna make that error in judgment. Saw it happen in scrims when we were looking at players just getting warmed up. So much at stake here, but there's the launch pad. It's gonna go out now. Need to be wary of just get beamed in the sky. So many times you think that you're just gonna be sailing away with no problem, not a care in the world, and then you just end up losing all of your shields, all of your HP, and then that's it, you're done.
I I've seen it countless number of times. People tweet out, you know, you fly across, you get taken out the sky, but it's all about timing. Neither Mitro nor Mongrel was shot once on that rotation, and it was masterfully done right there. And whoa, it looks like they're tracking so beautifully. Catches someone trying to just kind of rotate on by in a shadow bomb, but that was not enough.
You were not safe from the shadows there, buddy. Another thing, too, was that when they were out of position for a brief moment, the way that they were able to just get back together, right? That patience with one another, the communication, you need to have it when you're getting down to these final moments. 25 duos are going to still be standing here. You got Calculator and Macwood. They're going to have that high ground up above. They shouldn't be comfortable just yet, because anything can happen here. Look at where that next circle is going to be going. Moves need to be made.
With that RPG, I mean, they can basically take high ground at any given moment that they want nor choose. Calculator looking around, already on 4 eliminations for Macwood. Macwood did say he's the fragger of the duo. We'll see if Calculator can keep up right now. I am just poking good fun because Calculator loves to talk a big game on the social media.
He really does, man. He's a character without a doubt. But right now, there is no fun and games to be had. This is Game 3 of the Fortnite World Cup Finals. It's time to put up or shut up for a lot of these players.
Look at that, wasting no extra mats. They do not waste more than they have to.
This was earlier on. An elimination onto Mongrel.
With a masterful rotation, he's still in as well. Bad Snipers at 11 eliminations with Oslo here.
Wow, unreal stuff. Bad Sniper is going to be out of this one. Macwood and Calculator still owning the high ground on the mid. Down below, Dubs and Mega, one of the premier duos here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Could they get the high ground and wrestle the control away from Calculator and Macwood? Oslo waiting for Vinny. You can see that engagement down low, but we got to focus on what's going on above here, because Macwood and Calculator, they have their eyes on Dubs and Mega, and they do not want to give them that freedom to dictate where they want to go. They want to try and pinch them. Arkrum just eliminated Vinny on that, and it's going to be Oslo and Arkrum down low, but you're going to have a clash, a 2v2 in the high and in the mid ground, and Dubs and Mega feeling that pressure, needing to just dial back here, wait a minute, because I think what they're doing is they're just trying to see if they're going to run out of builds potentially. I mean, the play here certainly has just been defense, defense, defense.
Yes, that's right. Oslo's now left by himself. All he has to do is time this firefight, so long as he doesn't bother them. But Dubs and Mega try to go for the high ground and make a fatal error. They fall to the low here, Golden Boy.
This isn't looking good there. Mega and Dubs, they have the low ground, the ultimate low ground. Oslo's going to be outside, but they get the elimination. Calculator and Macwood, they're holding the high ground, and that's the victory royale. Macwood pops off in game 3. 7 eliminations for him, 2 for Calculator, 9 total, plus the victory royale. 19 points for that duo. Crushed it.
There was just something about the loadout. Seeing that RPG once they already were holding the best point, the high ground. You just knew pressure, and that's what Macwood did there. What was it, 7 eliminations? Hey, shout out to Calculator too. He got a couple at the end.
Yeah, he had his back. Most importantly, Dubs and Mega constantly playing that defense. Credit to Macwood and Calculator for the way that they continue to apply the pressure. And then it was the shock, sending them down low, forcing them into that engagement. Credit to Oslo now, who took traps instantly to see maybe he can get a cheeky trap elimination. Didn't work out for him there, but a top 3 placing for him. Certainly got to be happy with that one. And then it came down to the final moment when Calculator and Macwood together were able to push his player with their combat shotties. Boom, that's the game. And look how happy they were there.
So good. Gotta love the reactions right there.
Whew. What a game that was. Had a little bit of a slow ramp up, you know? But that's what Fortnite will do to you. You're just talking, you're having a conversation about where the positioning is going to be, and then out of nowhere, boom, you're in the action, you're in the fight, and things start to get wild. Great game there for Macwood and Calculator. Calculator winning on the world stage, man. Look at that. Eat your heart out, Reddit.
I gotta say, you know, I'm sure he's proved a lot of people wrong, and you have to respect it.
Yeah.
But, Golden Boy, I want to see where we stand here.
Where are we right now? So at the top, it's still going to be Saf and Zate with 38 points. They have that victory royale from game 1 and 16 eliminations. Mega, Dubs, second place, looking pretty. No victory royales for them thus far. You saw Zexro and Vinny do the same thing, but it's Calculator and Macwood that jump up to 6th place. They have 22 points total, 12 eliminations in that game. They're finally in that top 10.
I want to take it one step further. Bad Sniper and Oslo jump up to 13 total eliminations. They didn't have anything up until this point. They just had one great pop-off game.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're in the running here. It is anyone's game in the top 10 because you have to be consistent. And again, there's always those wild cards, those pop-off moments. And here's a look at page 2. Any of these guys are still in the running right now.
You got Bell and Scarlet, who've been wrestled out of the top 10. The Japanese duo who had a premier game in game number 1. Benji Fishy, Mr. Savage saw their demise earlier on. They're going to have 13 points there, but you saw the standings, and we're in game 3. And these games are going to be so critical. Games 3 and 4 really set that tone, because once you get into like game 5, a lot of players are going to be down low. Like, there's an opportunity for you to try and get your way into that top 20, which is where you're really going to start to get a lot in the prizing. But for the folks that are going to be sitting in top 10 right now, they're going to be feeling very nice about their current standings. For game 3 to be in 2nd place, Dubs and Mega, and then Saf and Zate still performing so well.
And that's the crazy part. Dubs and Mega, everyone has been rooting for them. They're like that wild card that came out of nowhere, and they really swept the competitive community hard lately.
That's right. So I did get word. We have Jordan standing by with our winners from game 3. Jordan, take it away.
NA really showing up and showing off today. It's amazing, seemingly tapping in that nail on the coffin. Such a please pardon the pun, I have to say, calculated game here from Calculator and Macwood. Guys, well matted, well utilized. You dominated high ground, seemingly all of that in-game there. Walk me through that process of getting that high ground, attaining, and then dominating for the rest of the game.
Well, we were able to pick up 2 lucky eliminations on that outer circle of 4th zone, I think it is, and we were able to use our mats to build up. We were lucky enough to get half and half, and we were able to just beam people out of the air, hold high, and got lucky with a couple zones.
Amazing. Well, I mean, again, you had 3 games left to go. The strategy, is it going to continue to shift around a little bit, or are you guys going to maintain what you've been working on thus far?
I didn't hear the question.
Strategy, maintaining thus far. You guys have a very calculated and very patient game, seemingly leading all the way up to the end of the end game. Right, walk me through your strategy for the end of the next 3 games.
Shoot them in the head.
Shoot them in the head. You heard it here first. Back to you, GV and Monster.
Calculator gets one opportunity to show the world his prowess and knowledge of Fortnite. He just says, shoot them in the head. You gotta respect it.
You know, some people, it's just that simple. And hey, man, maybe he's just wired that way, right? We're all wired a little differently. Calculator has clearly got his head on his shoulders, and he's ready to just shoot things.
Yeah, but Macwood was the one doing a bulk of the shooting in that last game. 7 eliminations for Macwood. He looked so great, and you would expect the young Calculator to be the one that leads the charge on slaying, but Macwood, man, holding it down. And let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I mean, you know, Macwood not that much older, right? But I think it's just important to note that you have to have teammates at any point in time to just pop off. Like, you need that. It's so necessary. Got to trust in your teammate. That's what makes a lot of these duos so successful.
Yes, I mean, we've seen it from the start of every round. Some teams are just more aggressive than the others, and they know how to stick together.
A lot of great moments in that game, and good news for us is that we got Sundown standing by to break it all down. Sundown, over to you.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. Now, we talked about Safe and Zat. We just got to talk with Macwood and Calculator, but Dubs and Mega had an incredible game from the early into the mid that they transitioned into a top 2 performance. So let's dive right on in and see what allowed to make them into the top 3. First, notice their elims in the bottom corner, but the rifle fire together. The second they see the shield is down, able to pick up one. Mega is the one who is leading the charge here. He picks up all 4 of their first elims. You can see Waller breaks down, and the trap is so intelligent. Double ticks going through, places the ramp so it's phased. Knowing the yellow is there, pushes in 2 more elims, chug splashes. Dubs stays up with just barely enough HP, and you can see he's trying to trap the floor every single time. Gets the mid-ground control. 5th elim for Mega. We talked about how high their ceiling was, unfortunately using the shockwave to go down and end up at a low ground disadvantage. Calculator and Macwood able to ride it out, but now Mega and Dubs have pushed into that top 3, challenging to be the first ever World Championship duo. The team who has possibly the highest ceiling, full qualified solos and duos. The question is, in the last half, the last 3 games, will they be able to keep it up? Will NA stay on top? Will Serpent and Hype represent Oceania and upset the apple cart? I'm about ready to see some hype myself. Let's throw it back inside for the last 3 games. Gentlemen, take it away.
Well, if you want hype, got you covered, baby, because these games have been incredible. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to the Fortnite World Cup Finals live from New York City. We're in the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Game 3 just concluded. We had 3 different winners across 3 different games. This is our duos competition. These players are playing for a lot of money in prizing. So much on the line here. Lives will change forever after today for those players that are on the stage and some of the folks you're seeing on your screen right now in, well, I would say in a different situations than they would find themselves in. You got Vinny and Zexro, they're right there. Zayt and Saf, 3 games in, still holding on to first place. It has been wild stuff. Welcome, I'm Golden Boy alongside with Monster D-Face here, and it's been a great day. Really, there's nothing more that you could possibly say about it. And as I had mentioned before, the prizing, the money that these guys are battling it out for, this is it. First place will take home $3 million. Second place gets $2.2 million. Like, that's just absurd. You get in the, where is this here?
4 millionaires, 4 millionaire duos before the weekend is over. Not to mention all the fame and clout that comes with it. So I think you'll be pretty well off at that point. But everyone's a winner here. We're here to celebrate all of the competitors that made it this far to the Fortnite World Cup final stage, because those 10 weekends of qualifications were not easy.
Yeah, when you get into 10th place, that's where you really start to rack up the coin. But Game 4 now about to begin. Here we go, folks. Let's see who's going to come out on top. We've had 3 different winners, but our top performers have been consistent through and through. Are we going to see a repeat winner? Are we going to get a new one to add to the list? It's now time. The battle bus is loaded up. Let's start Game 4.
And you know what? Every game so far, we've seen a new winner. I love that. Same thing with the Pro-Am. There was always some new duo showing that, hey, we've been playing this game. We're ready to take a victory. Everyone here has the potential to come out on top, and you see it unfold in those final moments.
throughout the weekend, we've been doing interviews, meeting with fans, and talking to people, and a lot of folks have asked, who do you think is going to win? And I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but I'm very real with you all. I have no freaking idea because it truly is up. It's up in the air. This is a battle royale game. At any point in time, you can have Macwood and Calculator just having the game of their lives in Game 3, and now look, boom, they're going to be sitting in the top 10.
I mean,
how do you even predict that?
We nearly saw it with Zay and Saf. I think anyone with good logic can clearly put their money on people that have had prior experience, but even that is not enough because Macwood and Calculator showing that, hey, you know what? We don't even need that. We're here to slay.
Dubs and Mega, they're in second place. They made their names in these qualifiers that led us up to this point. They did not find themselves in land. This is the first time these young men are up there playing on this stage. When I was their age, I couldn't even believe that I would be capable of doing something like that. And they're doing it, and they're doing it with style. And then to make matters worse for everyone else in the server, they've been so consistent, deadly through and through.
Yeah, that's right. And they're in second place, no victory royale. So just showing that if you step to their box, you're gonna get hurt. We saw Mega with a masterful, and I mean beautiful performance under Storm Surge pressure. He didn't even blink an eye, still fighting other players, fighting his way out of that desperate situation. Volks and Parpy, let's just hop into this duo right here. We'll talk about him a little bit. They are known for sticking to the hip in PvP. Earlier today, we saw Volks get traded out, but it wasn't just like an easy trade. They were actually winning the engagement up until that point, just showing that they have the skill. And that's the OCE region, right? One of the most feared regions here at the qualifiers because of the fact that you just had to get a ton of elims. You had to be #1 in the region.
When talking to players, I would ask them, what are you looking to avoid? And every time, if it was, you know, the NAEU players, they would say, I'm just trying to avoid OCE or Brazil. I don't want to have to deal with that. Because they play the hyper aggro style, and they just don't care who you are. They're going to go for the fight.
I mean, you saw Scarlet and Bell in that first game. I truly thought they were going to take the whole thing. It was so close.
Even Sinnoh in the Pro-Am yesterday, another top player
finished second.
Region, finished second. And he was just, I know it's a Pro-Am, obviously a different competition there, but he was just going into boxes. He didn't care, not a care in the world for them. Now, Volks and Parpy do find a player above here, right by the jet stream.
And he hit him once for whites already, so that means there is no shield on that player. You can have up to 100 effective shield. That player's dangerously weak, and folks is just keeping an eye on him. He doesn't know if he slipped out already, and he says, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my teammate. It's a little too risky getting split up here.
Yeah, play for the mid to late game in this situation now, but 7SSK is gonna be dealing once again with Spades and Crimson. It seems like just a constant for them. They cannot seem to win out on this fight. Crimson's going to be down, though, so the advantage could be going in the favor of Jamside and 7SSK. Spades going to have the high ground, now having to deal with a 1v2. Does he have what it takes to pull this one off? He doesn't own that wall. He has no more builds to work with as well. They're going to push out, and Spades couldn't deal with it, and that's going to be the win there for those two.
You would think for Jamside and SSK, like, hey, you know, we've been landing here, haven't been successful. Do you mix it up? They say, nah, I'm going to stick to my guns here, because everyone's a winner, regardless.
The VP boys coming out on top. Week 6 qualifiers for them, and they just need that game, that one game. So many of these players get that one game that catapults them into the top 10. And then the momentum shifts, the confidence starts to rise up. You think to yourself, I am capable of being able to do this.
Mongrel looking for it right here. Love this dual perspective right now. Mongrel's actually looking for a side angle. He's going for the offense, pushing out. Is he tracking this player down? It's really hard to tell. They're getting into, really just going deeper into Neo Tilted. If you hang on the outskirts or by the slips, you're at huge risk for getting dived onto. It looks like they say, you know what, we're just going to continue to push on through. Those guys dive off, and those markers are actually the trackers. They say, hey, they're going this way. Mongrel still wants a piece of this.
Keeping up with where players are moving in the crowded Neo Tilted, a new area that was introduced just a little while ago. Some players made Tilted Towers their home. This was a drop spot for so many, the likes of Nick Merckx, Aiden, right? But ever since it changed, you started to see players second guess whether or not they wanted to go to the new Tilted. talking to Aiden earlier, actually when we went out to go get pizza and stuff, he had mentioned like Tilted's just a whole different beast now. Just not something that he really would want to deal with. That's why you don't really see him going that way anymore.
Yeah, it's just a different lay of the land. As things start to shift, different comforts kind of tend to evolve and whatnot here. But we have Twiz in cover H looking for a push down right now, and they have the positioning, they have the high ground, and it's just a matter of, do we want to dive down? They don't want to give up their angle. They know this duo below them have a flint knock. Flint knock can do so much damage if you peek the wrong way. Minimal's gonna hit you for about 80.
This duo from New Zealand, we had a chance to talk to them for that piece, and great to see that friendship, the communication that they'll have with one another, something that a lot of these duos that came together for the Fortnite World Cup duos portion of the finals don't really have. They don't have that cohesion, that chemistry that these two will have, right? That Saf and Zate would have as well.
Crazy to think there's 89 players in the lobby and 48 duos, so a lot of disengages, a lot of solos out there right now. Keenstar and Hunter looking to defend themselves right now, and it's just a cat game right here, cat and mouse game. What are they gonna do? They actually shockwave on out of there, and into the slip they go. They're out. They're trying to get away. That was a shadow bomb right there, and he's gone.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that duo that was coming in, but the storm is creeping up now. This is only phase one. Nyx gets knocked by Zexro. Saw that in the elimination feed just a second ago. Item and Derox out in the wide open.
And it looks like, actually, they saw Mend right there building by himself in a one poor wooden shack, and they're pushing the shack now. So Twiz is going to hear these shots off in the distance, but looks like we're hopping over to the Loot Lake area where it's Macwood and Calculator going against Daedra and Miz. This is a top 10 contenders right here.
The Game 3 winners now having to deal with Daedra and Miz. Shots as well, snipe shot. You just heard that one squeak by Daedra. Need to be careful there. There's some more shots being laid out. Disengage as well. And they're just really pushing them away from here because you got to get to that safe zone. Don't want to have to deal with the storm, obviously. It's still early games here, so you're not going to be ticked for too much. But you're really looking for this next zone. Where are you going to start to move here? And this, again, the game is going to be so slow in the start because as you get closer and closer to the end, game 4, critical game, Monster. So many points you can earn from this. Flying into the top 10 potentially if we have a new winner that was outside of it. This is where players start to, I guess it really sets in on them that they're going to be playing for $3 million in prizing.
Yeah, if it hasn't already, I don't know what world they're living in, but here it is. Twiz goes for the shockwave overhead, and it's Derox who eats a chunky one right there. Cover H looking to chop this bad boy down. In comes the sinkers. Is it going to be enough, though? The pressure is so real right here.
Twiz and Cover H doing it not only for themselves, doing it for New Zealand, their families, and everyone watching them at home. And that is going to be one elimination through. I saw that one pop up. That's number 1 for this duo. The challenge comes in, and that's the win there. 2 elims total. Twiz gets them both.
He tried to get out there and play the trap play, but it was not enough. 7 SSK and Jamside have rotated in from Paradise Found.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Down comes the build.
Oh, no.
They should be close enough. Yeah, he is going to be able to catch himself, and the build battle goes off, Golden Boy.
Cover H is going to be down. Jamside, 7 SSK7. You're looking at Jam's perspective here. Going in for the fight, and after winning that one out, it's going to be Jam and 7 SSK7 that get the better of the boys from New Zealand.
They found their stride coming into game 4 so far, and that means they're in the running right now. 4 elims is enough to put you on just about page 2, top 20, and we talked about it. If you can make it to that top 20 bracket, you're still in the running so far because there are several more games left before this thing is over here. This Calculator finds himself very high in the sky right here. He's got a nice little base, and they're just waiting.
Yeah, waiting it out. Norwood's going to be beneath them. And those are the players that were forced them out before. Oh, no. Starting to hear the explosions. Knocking him out.
Wow, he actually sent a shot when the Splode came in and hit Cease with that? What? How was Cease knocked right there?
Just, again, when it comes to Fortnite, you never know what you're really going to expect here. Players will always pull something out of the hat and surprise you each and every time. I was looking over at Macwood, who's playing defense. Calculator Now really having to deal with 2 players angling shots at him. Macwood back into a fighting position, a fighting posture to help his buddy out.
And it's so unfortunate because they were just about to push to seal the deal and elevate there, and that third party up on the mountain ruined that push.
Slows things down. Elevated Seas having to deal with the Stinkers. Will be moving out of the fight now.
I love it right there. He uses the Stinkers to back him off, and since he doesn't take friendly damage from it, he pushes right into enemy territory here. He's so offensive. He's on the enemy traps.
Oh, man.
Macwood gets owned right there.
Not what you wanted to see happen after winning game number 3, but Elevate and Seas, we mentioned them before. They just need that moment to pop off so everyone here in New York can see what they're capable of. Such a great duo, but now having to deal with another fight. But to Elevate, what a shot there. On Calculator, sending him packing.
Calculator did a great job, though. He did win his straight off against Cease. Ronaldo and Zip are just nearby, though. Looks like they've heard the commotion. They're getting closer. And it's Norward. Norward's lurking about. He was like, you know what, getting closer, trying to see what he can do here. And Zip's going to fall down here because of the shockwave.
Yeah, Norward was the one down low, hearing all of the action happening. Zip and Ronaldo now in front of us. Do they manage to get this wall, just get ownership of it, but the ramp is going to be placed, giving him time to wiggle out of that moment of time.
And Norward actually used all of his shockwaves there to disengage.
Yeah, it's not really worth it. By yourself, evidently. Oh, man. And that's Norward. Norward tried.
Didn't get far.
He did not get far at all, my friend. But there's the other duo right in front of him. Zip and Ronaldo have him in the sights. Ronaldo's going to be on the other side now. Engaging in the fight, not taking any damage.
Such a good job, though. Good job by Zip here to come in and back up his teammate right now. He is trying desperately to get to his teammate here. This is great teamwork. Now they have the pinch lined up, and the trap is down. That's a siphon for Elevate right there.
That siphon could be the difference maker for him. Zip doesn't have any shields. He needs to take a moment to just pop the minis.
It's a little bit of a reset here.
He's still in this too, so he didn't get knocked. He's not full eliminated yet.
Which is rough. You don't convert the Elim, you don't get the point either here. As Elevate is doing a great job on defense, but the Campfire heals down players as well. This is actually really, really smart of them to sit on the Campfire right now and just wait and buy time. Always looking to set up the phase through right there, trying to get through the build. Some shockwave comes out, and close but no cigar.
Such an intense fight between these two.
Oh no, someone thirsted.
Snappy, he went for the shot from the distance. There, you see him right there along with Red Rush. And then Zip down low on this island, using not only the rocks, but also this metal that he had just built up for himself to get out of this.
Zip is the target of the server at the moment, as everywhere he moves, he cannot seem to catch a break, but he is going to find a little bit of that high ground real estate right here and hopefully ease up the burden, but nope, has to change layers again. And now let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh, and Zip is out of here. Funk, I could have sworn I saw Funk there, but no, I think that was Elevate. Apologies, that was Elevate that did get that.
But the secure was there. Moving on now, taking a look at the other side of the map. We have Stompy and Shinken still in the game. Mongra and Mitro, Benji and Savage, Aqua. All of these duos, very, very powerhouse duos here.
Yep.
Close by right now.
4 eliminations for Benji Fishy. 36 duos remaining. It's going to be a loot late circle. So some water. Players will just have to build over. Nothing that these guys can't handle. Oh, a lot of open air, though. Lots of open air.
All right, Benji's at 4 eliminations here.
He's been having a good game. They've been playing well.
Playing very good. 4 elims.
Just the final moments, right?
This early in the game to have 4 elims is actually huge, and I love what they're doing right now, just fishing for damage, because Storm Surge, you never want to be under the pressure of the Storm Surge. They know that with 50 players in the lobby, dependent on the zone, Storm Surge will activate, excuse me. So 4 Stinkers is the perfect tool, perfect utility to have.
Can take some damage down on any of these players, getting comfortable inside of a box. Now looking at this, got Vinny down low in a campfire. Saw Aiden and Sean there too. Had a few good moments for Aiden and Sean. It hasn't really been their event so far.
Dude.
6 elims.
That's insane. Having 6 eliminations already. Take a look at this stat right here. Damage dealt, 842. The match average, every other player on average, 176. That's not even enough to take out a player with shield and health. So they're doing a lot of work on this lobby right now. And they are here to play. Looks like they're going to find themselves another spot. This is actually an interesting spot. But it's all good because they have launch pads. They can get up and over this cliff lip right here. And they're backside safe, so all they have to do is protect their forward angles.
I understand we did get some moments of Mongrel earlier on as he's trying to see where players are going to start to make some moves. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And we'll come back and see where they are currently.
Oh my, up that. Nice! Nice! Oh my god, nice.
And that's why this is one of the best duos in Fortnite. Way to clutch up in those moments, man. Yeah, the nerves, they have to be shaking there. But Mongrel, just a steely stare. Love it. Love to see it.
Get out there and get yourself a duo that's going to clutch up for you today in the Fortnite game.
If your friend ain't doing it, drop him. You don't need him.
That's right, but you heard him. He said we're going to win loud and confidently. Mongrel and Mitro are here.
And they're here to win this game. That's the mission. But everyone else, all 33 duos that remain here have that same objective in mind. Luckily for them, I think that circle does work out for them just a tad.
And there it is, Storm Surge. It's now live.
And it's going to hurt some people.
You either have to do damage or less than 50 players have to be in the lobby. So 6 individual players right
Gustavo's
now
out.
are under it. Yep, that's it. Gustavo gets owned right there. Is Wishy going to be able to do something about it?
Storm Surge in effect. Dubs and Mega once again. They're in second place in the leaderboards. 3 games have worked out very, very well for them.
And they can see that effect. You can see the Storm Surge around you.
51 players. Only 1 player needs to be eliminated, and that will be it.
Says, you know what? We balling. They out. They're going. They're trying to get that zone playing for placement right now. And do you blame them? Why not? They're in the lead right now. All they have to do is consistently skate through. They've gotten through the hardest part, the beginning. They're warmed up. As Mega is trying to fish around here and get a good spot. Looks like they get themselves a little bit more real estate, but the pressure is in because the baller players come in.
Right in front of them, too. More defense having to be played here. It's kind of shades of game 3 when they were in a similar spot, but this was from the high ground. This time, it'll be right in front of them. The action has cooled, though. They can take a moment to reset.
Definitely did cost a fair amount of metal right there. Mega now on 300 metals, trying to inch his way to that fence nearby. Just doing a little bit of a material swap right there. Back to Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy with the minigun. The minigun's so good for pressure plays.
Spread out a few of those materials. Get ready for the potential movement. Snaking is what you would hear players often mention. They tunnel out, give themselves some coverage. You need a lot of materials for that. Then the artillery strike from up above, a new item that was added. You can build around and give yourself some defense, so really it's just waiting it out rather than having to move out of the blast area. 5 elims for Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy. 6 for Mitra and Mongrel. This has certainly been a dominant game for EU thus far.
Yeah, for sure. As Yuang takes out Rote right there, EU player is gonna go down. Rote gets the trade out though, must have been the zone here as we are cutting across here. Mitra's trying to find some real estate here. Is he gonna be able to set up? He's going for the high ground. little bit of a build-off, but Mongro's got it under control. He's got the high. Who's putting some pressure down?
Yeah,
He's getting the shot straight across here, Golden.
Yeah, there was a duo right on the other side there that Mitro was concerned about, so he goes low. Then, really, wherever you go, there are going to be players looking right at you, and sometimes you just manage to incur the wrath of the entire server. Luckily for Mitro, that did not happen quite yet. Saf, I just saw Saf get dropped. Zate's going to be separated from his teammate there across the side, and that is the circle creeping on forward. It's going to be open air, open space for them, so the ballers will have space to move around and try to survive here. This is it. It's coming down to the final moments, Monster, for a lot of these players. The pressure's on.
Yeah, Saf has already been taken out, so Zate is left to fend for himself here. Can he play for placement? We already know Mongro Mitro were split up. Can they find themselves amongst the chaos here? Aqua and Nyrox are holding up the high ground here as well, and that's a scary duo. Way up top, uncontested.
Not someone that you want to have up above you. Mitro, 6 builds remaining. After this, doesn't really have much left to work with, and the builds go away pretty much instantly. Zate gets eliminated, so that's going to be the end of the duo that's currently in first place in the standings, but Mega and Dubs. Dubs is out as well. 4 eliminations for the duo, the bottom right of your screen. Mega very capable of being able to clutch this out by himself, but it will not be easy.
Yeah, Mongro actually just slips into the low ground too right now, so he is trying to stay alive here. Jumps into someone's box. It's Voron who gets taken out right there by Mongro, so he's still in the running. Mega goes up and gets traded as well. Vinny's still here too. So many solos remain right now, but there are still several duos in the game here, Golden.
And the scariest duo is going to be up above. It's Aqua and Nyrox. They're tarping this up, and they're putting down shots wherever they can. If they can get a few more eliminations, a few more points, that will jettison them up the leaderboards.
Elevate has 7 elims as well right now. He has 7 already. Rojo jumps out of the box. Wolfie's still in the game.
Controller player. Talking to our boy Christian earlier, he mentioned he loves to get in the faces of players, and it has worked out for him thus far. Elevate is out of the game. 7 eliminations for him, 7 points, not bad at all, and you're going to get the placements to boot. Still, Aqua and Nyrox up above. Then you got Benji Fishy in the game. 5 eliminations for him, 6 total with Mr. Savage's 1. Oh, there's a player in front of him. He pops up in front of him. Oh, that's so scary there, but Benji Fishy is eliminated by Sky.
Sky has been around the competitive scene for a long time, and for good reason right there. Nyrox now owning from the high ground, putting that pressure down. A shockwave was initiated right there, but it's not going to be enough. This is their map to control right here in the final moments. They're the only duo standing, Golden Boy.
This is their game to win. The cooler duo. Is this going to happen? As they're putting the pressure on these players down low. They're synergized, they're communicating, and they're ready to pick up this victory royale in Game 4.
He only has 10 builds, though. This is very intense. Both of them don't have much here. He's going to put all the splashes down. Is that the decision right there to commit? Looks like the shockwave is going to cause an eruption in the high ground, and now they're in the zone here. What's going to happen here? This is so close.
5 players remaining. Few left as the shockwave is going to send him all the way up. Nyrox takes out Falconer down low, and he's wrestling with everyone, but Nyrox is out. Oh no, he doesn't manage to get the elimination, and in the storm, he gets the victory royale. 7 eliminations for the duo. A big, big win for Nyrox and Aqua.
Huge shockwave play in the final moments right there. It's going to propel him to the high ground and allow him to work top down, but not only that, it chucked everyone into the zone for a couple of seconds right there. So it truly was the ultimate disruption right there.
The shockwave, the end of the game, will just change everything. The complexion of it all. And just everything that had happened right at the end here. To Nyrox, he just went down low. He wanted to get scrappy with him. He goes down. That's Sky and Chapix. And then it's Aqua who follows it up. Flew up right into the sky there.
That was actually cool.
I also like looking at the player's face at these moments because the focus that he has. Ooh, man.
To hit your shots, you must hit your shots. Look at that. Stompy, Shinkin have talked about Aqua and Nyrox as players to look out for. They're scary competitors on the scene, and good to see them take a victory royale.
Yeah, in EU, right? So we've had 2 NA, 2 EU now, you know, getting a little scrappy out there.
Spicy.
I like to see it, right? Everyone's like, EU, where you at? NA, where you at, right? But hey, that is the game, right? You never know what you're gonna get. Safin's 8 still hold on to first place, but it's only gonna be by 2 points. Dubs and Mega, they're looking for that victory royale. If they're able to get it, hey, they could find themselves in first. Vinny and Zexro in third place currently with 35 points, 5 shy of first place. Safin's 8 have to hold on to their title as the Kings of the Mountain. And in that last game, they just could not put it together. These last few games for this duo is going to be critical given how close this gap is between all of the players in the top 10.
That's right, and take a look at your next page here. We saw plenty of Spades and Crims winning that Paradise Palms kind of early interaction, but one loss sets them way back to the second page now because you have to continue to accrue points here. But look, Epic Whale still here as well. There's a lot of players in the running.
Yeah. Wild stuff from game 4, excuse me, as we've had the EU duo, the cooler duo, managing to get their win on the world stage. I know that we're gonna have Jordan in a little bit with the winners. He's getting everything together. I want to hear from these players, and good news is we are gonna do just that. So let's send it on over to Jordan, who has our winners standing by.
A massive shift for EU here. We all know that shockwave grenades can absolutely shift the balance of in-game, especially allowing you to propel yourself up and work your way top down to dominate and control what was the most exciting final moments of in-game here today. What is your plan going into these next couple of games? There's a lot kind of hanging in the balance here, right? There's a big momentum shift for you, and you have the opportunity to kind of go any direction that you want. What's your plan?
Our plan is just to keep going what we're doing right now, just landing our spot and going for consistent placement points.
Consistent placement points, that's key and can absolutely take the Vic Roy home, as you saw just now. Back to you, GB and Monster.
Thank you so much, Jordan, for that one, and stay the course. No reason for you to adjust anything. If it worked out for you there, clearly you're doing something right, Monster.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these competitive players know best, and stubbornness is in their name. You saw Jamside, 7SSK say, hey, I don't care if I lose the first 3 times here. We're going to master this. We're going to turn it around. And they did. They had a great, at least, showing at some point at the last one. So players are going to stick to their guns.
Early engagements, man, that is just, I love seeing those fights with the gray weapons, right? You really can tell who can figure it out with not much to work with. That's always the challenge that players have to deal with in the beginning of a game like this. Now, I do understand we have Bala standing by to break it down and what we saw in game 4. Bala?
Yeah, well, Aqua and Nyrox definitely showed up here today, and the resurgence of EU is maybe starting. We've got 2 more games to go, but I want to talk about Mongrel and Mitro and what they had to do in this game here. They actually ran into Zexro and Vinny. We're going to start off. GB, you were talking about early game engagements. This is one that's been going in the duo of Mongrel and Mitro's favor against Skeptic and Clicks in Neo Tilted Towers. The pressure here from Mitro to find out exactly where the first player is. Mongrel up above, then targeting on both. They try to get into the same box at the same time. They go down and just continue pushing forward. Mongrel and Mitro, it's the second time that they win this engagement here today. And it's not stopping. They continue forward onto Volks and Parpy and just try to hunt down everything. There Clicks is trying to escape as well. And then this snipe here from Mitro. He actually, not only did he hit that, and they get right into it onto Zexro, he hit Vinny coming in with a drift board right before this. So 1 elimination there for them. And then they had the engagement that we saw earlier. We're gonna go ahead and run it back because this clutch puts them perfectly in position at 4th place right now. A reminder that this was with Mitro down after all was said and done. There he goes down, and then Mongrel comes in right on cue. He does not let his teammate